Hey, yo, 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 and away we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream here for another Wednesday night. We have been going so consistently here on these Wednesday nights, and you guys have been such a great part of it. First, thank you once again. It is June 28, 2023, the last Wednesday of June. And quick programming note, we're not going to have an AEW Dynamite Sidecast next week because I'm going to Dynamite. Dynamite is making their debut in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada next Wednesday, and I managed to pick up a cheap seat, so I'm sort of happy that I'm hearing some of the ticket prices and some of the people are paying for that, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm glad I got what I got. So, but yeah, welcome. Good to see everybody here. It was a great fallout from, we're going to see a very interesting show tonight. The fallout from AEW Forbidden Door. It's going to be an interesting show, to say the least. The only matches that are currently scheduled, from what I've seen, is Vikingo, Keith Lee, and Orange Cassidy versus Daniel Garcia and 2.0. And in the Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament, Dr. Britt Baker, the Pillar, shout out to the Killer. We hope she's doing well in her recovery here. Taking on Ruby Soho in a rematch of the finals from last year. So, like I said, these shows that come up right after pay-per-views to me don't really present a ton. Like, it's not crazy. Like, there's not crazy amounts of anything going on these shows typically. But that pay-per-view just, it blew the doors down for everything that was expected here. You knew the two main events were going to be good. The 10-man tag was decent. Even Tony and Willow was okay. A little bit better than what I would expect, especially since they had the Outcasts kicked out of there by the midway through the match. So at least, there was some cheating, but at least it was just one-on-one cheating, not this 3-on-1 BS that we're dealing with all the freaking time. Shout out to Brian Danielson right now. Wishing him nothing but the best in his recovery, because as much as he says it's going to be 8 weeks, you got to know that kind of arm, the way it looks, just it's going to take a hell of a lot longer to recover from that. Hey, Jay Quick, good to see you in the chat, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that injury was absolutely gross, and the fact that he worked 10 minutes off an elbow drop. Granted, we had 2 elbow drops that caused some interesting injuries. One that fans were cringing, and I guarantee you some fans were cheering on the other one. When Kojima came off the top rope and hit CM Punk in the dick. I'll guarantee you, there were some wrestlers in the back that were sort of applauding the fact that Punk got nutted on that elbow by Kojima. But I have to say, throughout that entire show, the only match that this sucks because we had an entire pre-show booked. I could have bragged about this. I think the only match that we got sort of wrong would be the Ospreay Omega match. Like, it made sense that Ospreay, the New Japan guy, won the New Japan title, but I personally thought it was going to be one of those crazy finishes that never really finishes, that they're not going to have Kenny lose in Canada. Just like they could set up the rematch, which they're probably going to do anyway at the Wembley show, have the rematch of this and have Ospreay get the final win out of this. But the only other way they could go, and I wouldn't put it past them here, move that U.S. title on to somebody else, and then you just have Omega and Ospreay go at it just for the pride of each other, right? Why do I have a feeling that Britt wins the Owen Hart Cup Derby? That I think we got Britt and Tony and Wembley. I don't really think we're going to get that, to be honest with you. With the fact that Sky Blue won the other half of the draw here for the semifinals, I don't see Britt versus Sky there. I see Ruby winning this one. With the potential that Ruby loses in the second round to Sky Blue, creating maybe a Sky Blue Athena final for it. That's my thinking, at least, that we get that for that collision. In terms of prediction here, I think the fact that this is the last quarterfinal has a lot to say about the matchups here, because I don't think we're going to get... I think Britt gets knocked out of this. My eventual feeling for the match, the more that I think about it, the more likely it makes sense. You're going to get a 4-way for the championship at the Wembley show at All In. You're going to get Toni Storm, you're going to get Saraya, you're going to get Britt Baker, and you're going to get a returning Jamie Hayter. Because those are the 4 quote-unquote pillars, even though, you know, Britt is the pillar. But I feel that, those 4 are probably going to be what ends up being the match for the Wembley show. You know, Saraya's got to get in there to be the queen of... Sorry, just turn the channel so I can actually watch the match, because, you know, I was watching the Blue Jays actually show up and be a baseball team tonight. I think that, for me, it makes a lot of sense for that match. Unless they find a way to quickly pop it off Tony and then pop it on the Saraya. Because I honestly feel that Jamie Hayter being the hometown hero that comes back to win the championship at Wembley would be the feel-good story of that event. Not saying it's going to be the best match of the event, but the best feel-good story of that event. That would be great there. In my opinion, at least. And my other one here is, when are they finally going to take that title off Orange Cassidy? Is that going to be forever? I know Brie Bella wasn't really happy with the Danielson. Yeah, like, I'll be honest. I don't think Brie wants Brian to be working at all. Like, the fact that Danielson's been working the limited schedule that he has, I think that's been definitely intentional. The only good thing about this, essentially, is the fact that Danielson's not going to be available for a rumored blood and guts match that's supposed to be scheduled to come up in the next few weeks here. We're going to find out a lot in the next 48 hours as to what's going on with AEW and what's going on with the blood and guts and all that. And the reason I say 48 hours, for those that aren't familiar with the taping schedule for AEW, for a one-time only, well, at least for this one, Collision is going to be pre-taped tomorrow in Hamilton. That's why they're running the same venue 2 nights in a row. And it also could explain a lot of the reasons why the attendance for the second Hamilton show just isn't there, because it is a Thursday night. And it's the Thursday night that a lot of people are bailing out of town. If you don't work Friday, you're bailing out of town Thursday. And people from America are looking at me all confused as to, why would you want to get out of town? Don't you have to work? Technically, Monday will be our stat holiday for you. The Americans get the 4th of July as their holiday, the Independence Day, whatever. Canada gets July 1st is known as Canada Day. So a lot of people, they're not going to be there on the 1st, on the Saturday. So that's why they booked it to be on Thursday here as a taping. And a lot of people just don't want to be in town that weekend. If you can get a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend out of this, book Friday off, head out, gone. And a lot of people in Toronto just went to Forbidden Door, almost went to Dynamite tonight, only an hour and a half away. Yeah, Ticket prices, though, I find Tony's actually really leveled them up. By the way, good to see you, Zodiac. Thank you for stopping by here tonight. Thank you to everybody. Just as Dynamite's coming up on the screen now. And we are getting pyro right now. Oh, and as we see the lovely billboards there, AEW Fight Forever. The plan is right now, I can pick it up at 10 o'clock my time from our local GameStop here in Edmonton. I'm going to pick it up. We'll have to get it downloaded and whatnot. My plan is about 1 o'clock or so. I do plan on streaming the Owen Hart Road to the Elite. Just because we all expect the Road to Elite to go. Owen Hart should have been on the Road to Elite. So upset it's not on Game Pass. I get it. I get. This is one thing that's getting me right now. Like, Fightful Select reported that the game was going to be on Game Pass, which we don't know what their source was for that. It could have been completely made up, but it was the first source that came out with it. And to me, this is like, right now, I'm seeing in the past 24 hours, we're getting a lot of wrestling content creators intermingling with the video game content creators. If you're dealing with video games, like, you guys are in there. You guys have played video games too. Like, you're going to get your delays. You're going to get your upgrades and whatnot, all that. And some games just don't work right. It just plain old didn't. So people didn't realize that the Switch and the PlayStation versions it was the PlayStation thing. Never heard of video games. What are these trinkets? You get the first rib shot of the night, Zodiac. There you go. You're seeing the vile venom that wrestling fans have combined with the vile venom that video game fans have. Oh, I'm watching this and I'm just sitting back and laughing. I'm like, number one, this game is going to be interesting to say the least. It's going to be a culture shock for a lot of people because they're not used to this kind of game. It's not WWE 2K23. Oh God, I forgot all about this match getting booked right after the show. Ishii versus Jon Moxley. This is going to be a freaking war to start the show. Hot damn. Thank you to everybody for stopping in right off the bat here. As Hank Hill would say, video games, y'all. It's propane. I love the fact that you actually get a propane bottle to throw at people. Let's put it this way. I've seen early videos. Like, actually, most of my afternoon today was spent editing videos, and I had Chris Dankops, the YouTube channel. I was watching him go through the create a character, be the elite story mode. I'm not expecting a lot out of this match or out of this video game. Hey, Jaeger. So, Britt and Ruby main event, maybe. I wouldn't surprise me. I think they deserve it. I think they're the two people on the women's roster more than anybody else that could handle that position properly and tell a good story. I could see the women main eventing 3 weeks in a row. Because next week we're going to have to get the semifinals of the Owen Hart Cup, which I've got a feeling they're going to run both semis on the Wednesday and the Saturday in Edmonton and Regina. Ishii tried an Insaguri. Just with all due respect, I don't know a lot about Ishii, But God, it looks weird. Like, really, to me, in many ways, like, he looks like a muscular Goron. For Zelda Breath of the Wild and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom fans, there's a relevant reference for you. And I'm a little disappointed they aren't saying the Hung Bucks in action. There's your main event. Sting and Darby versus Jericho and Guevarra. There's your main event right there. As soon as they put that tornado stipulation up, not a fan of that main event. Me neither. I wish they would get this storyline just advanced the way that it needs to be. Because you are getting to the point now where you're starting to get that cooldown effect on the feud. Like, you were getting real close to having Guevara turn on Jericho a couple weeks ago. Could have had it at the pay-per-view. And now it almost seems like you had the two New Japan guys involved in the cover. You could have had Sammy lose the match and Jericho not save him or something to that effect. But that match sort of looked like a cluster anyway. So I love Sting, but his matches have not been great. Well, I'll just give you a couple examples from Forbidden Door. There was the table spot, which everybody's noticing here. That Sammy Guevara did a 630 through the table, which Sting ate. Then he pops right back up. The other one was a cover on... there was a cover on Darby by Suzuki. And Sting just literally walked right by to the corner to get out of the ring rather than try to break up the cover at all. Because literally... It literally looked like what we're going to see in Fight Forever once the guys can no longer be in the ring. They literally just roll out of the ring. You don't have any control over that. Well, I'll tell you that. I am going to like... Sorry, jumping back to Fight Forever. I think I'm going to really enjoy what it is. But I will say that this is not going to be something that we go back to week after week after week. There's no community creation suite. There's no crossplay. All right. Kingston's down here. He's like, no. You jerks get the hell out of here. I think he's just I think Kingston's just looking to get rid of. We're gonna get this stare down now. Right up until Blood Guts, we're gonna get this stare down every damn week here. Zodiac Sting is in his mid-60s. It's amazing, but it's clear his best days are behind him. The most he should be doing is cameo spots. He's wrestling way too much. The quality is suffering. Yeah, like the more he works, the less it's gonna look good. Just because he can't keep up, right? So. I'm totally with you there, and that's the best thing that AEW's been doing with their veterans, but Sting lately, since he's come back from his last hiatus, he's been in the ring a lot. And it just seems that he's not helping advance anything. He's helping give Darby a spotlight in a preview in a great match that a lot of people might not look at if it wasn't for Darby being there. But personally, I feel that we're starting to get to that phase now in AEW where We're almost at 5 years. Next year's going to be 5 years. A lot of these faces that are here have to start being a little bit more recognizable. They have to be a little bit more mainstream. They have to be a little bit more, you talk about wrestling, you got to know these guys. I honestly think Fight Forever is going to help. I think I said it before, but Sting is hurting Darby. If Darby can't shine without Sting, they need to get out of the top of the card. Yeah, I think Darby could shine without Sting, given the proper storylines and the proper motivations and whatnot to get in that position. But I don't know whether they're scared to do it or Tony's so insistent on making sure that his veterans are part of the card and whatnot. I don't know. Might be tough that way. I'm thinking in many ways he has a way of not wanting to talk to his top stars and telling them to grow up in some ways. And telling a 65-year-old man that he can't wrestle anymore when he was an icon and somebody you looked up to as a kid. While I get it, he's a billionaire and he needs to put on his big boy pants. Unfortunately, I don't see Tony Khan being the guy to do that. Okay. This just came out from Tony Khan here. Oh my God. I get him. Due to illness, Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament winner Britt Baker DMD isn't cleared to wrestle tonight against Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho will be in action tonight. And the 2023 Owen Hart Foundation Tournament quarterfinal, Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho, will take place next week in Edmonton. Booyah! I am looking forward to seeing Britt here next Wednesday. Oh, that just made my life a lot happier. Did I see where the Cons are buying another sports franchise? Maybe a cross promotion? Okay. Yeah. That came up at the AEW press conference on Thursday, prior to Forbidden Door. Somebody had brought up the idea that the Cons were buying Bellator. Let me paraphrase for Tony Khan for him here. No, we are not buying Bellator, and Ariel Helwani can go straight to... That's pretty much what came out of that answer there. So there's a few of those news reporters that Tony can't stand, and some of those that have been proven to be WWE shills. And yeah, that's where that ended up happening out of that statement. So the Jags need to start winning. Straight to Helwani, yeah. It was straight there. No, not even because he knew where the report came from. Like, Tony's not a dumb man. He is always looking for stuff. He is always looking for information. He may not be the best at presenting it, but he definitely knows how to read, definitely knows facts. Jags need to start winning. They finally have a quarterback that has star potential, so they may have a shot. They're in the division to do it. And let's not forget the Jags won their division last year and pulled off one of the biggest comebacks in the history of the NFL. Sorry, I just had to send out a retweet about Tony Khan's statement for Britt there. So I'm unapologetic about the best thing for me finding out about AEW was probably Britt Baker. Because I didn't know the caliber that she was. But yeah, when it comes to... Oh, look at this fight here. Like, this is a New Japan fight on Dynamite where these guys just don't give a crap and they're beating the living crap out of each other. And I guarantee you, Tony came back and said they need time. Have time. Have all the time in the world. Because Ruby's going to get a squash match probably. Because there's enough local talents around Ontario that can come in and do a 3-minute match or whatever. Jason Fave, we're talking about AEW wrestling here tonight. We're watching the AEW Dynamite show, and we're watching a very ugly display of blood right now. Ugh. Nice to see you here, first time chatter. Wow. Death Rider out of nowhere. We only got a 2. Is that American? All I watch is English football. It's actually all over the world. Some of the best wrestlers in the world are out of England as well. We're just talking about a big pay-per-view that's coming to Wembley Stadium April 27th. But yes, this is out of America. Excuse me, Jason. All right. But yeah, if you want to check out AEW Wrestling, it is available on Sky Sports. Yeah, you're looking at a guy like Wade Barrett, maybe. Very nice cutter out of Ishii there. There's a death rider. That's going to end this right now. Almost guaranteed at this point. No! Okay. I love how they're playing up the story that the fact it did take Moxley a little bit of time to get the cover there. Nope. Cena does the occasional match, but that's about it. He hasn't been around since April, so. Trying to go for the curb stomp. Okay. That isn't usually a Moxley move, but we'll take it here. There's another Death Rider. That's got to be it. Yes, we're actually watching the show live. I believe you'd have to get a VPN to watch it. Watch it down in the old Europes. I believe it's on Sky Sports Friday mornings. In North America here, we get to watch it live on TBS, and in Canada on TSN here. But that was a battle. You could just see Moxley just giving a kiss to Ishii on top of the head. And Kingston's smart enough to know that he's alone out there, so he isn't going anywhere to do anything right now. So they're going to cut the seat off here, or are we going to get a little bit more out of this? Because we're supposed to see the Hung Bucks in action here later. I refuse to not call them anything else. Ooh. The shoulder brush. And Moxley's going up the ramp. He doesn't go that way. He usually leaves the normal way. Congratulations, you won by yourself. Oh, now they're going to fight like brothers, huh? Until Claudio comes out and beats the crap out of him. Kings is like, get out of my way. I got to go talk to my brother. All right. That match is out of the way here. Oh, goody, MJF. We get to hear from the champ. Oh, it's Adam Cole. Okay, never mind. What the hell? Okay. We're hearing from who should be champ, yes. Which actually is interesting. First Cole was sick, now Breaker's sick. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It would make a lot of sense. And either way, I don't care what she's sick from. I hope she's feeling better, and I hope I hope she feels better for next week. Oh my God. Oh God, here we go. Start with the gifts. What is it, MJF shirt? Ah, cheap plug for the merch shop. Well, granted, you know, it isn't a bad shirt. Like, but yeah, Zodiac, just adding things up here. It sounds like it's going to be a COVID thing, but yeah, the fact that Britt Adams out now, Britt's out, it just makes too much sense that it would be COVID. But I am glad that the COVID restrictions are a little different now than what they used to be. Basically, get home and get better and don't spread it to everybody. Sucks we didn't get Tom Lawler and Adam Cole, which I know a lot of us were looking forward to. That, especially us here in Edmonton, we got a chance to see Tom Lawler as part of Top Talent Pro Wrestling here just a few weeks ago. Actually, it would have been a couple months ago. God, this year is flying by. I don't know about you guys, but this year has absolutely flown by. Like, this whole week personally for me has flown by. Because tomorrow is actually my last day of holidays where I actually have to get back to quote-unquote real work on Fridays. So my streaming schedule might lighten up a little bit in terms of what I'm doing. But we're still going to be jam-packed. We're still going to have lots going. I did a pre-test for our YouTube channel, and seems like streaming to YouTube's working okay too. So never seen El Phantasmo. Really enjoys. Yeah, Jaeger. El Phantasmo is a featured wrestler from down in BC. He's from the Vancouver area and whatnot. He's been around here for at least a couple years. His match with Stu Grayson was pretty decent and a pretty fair showcase of what he could do. If you really want to see what he could do, you can look up a couple matches he had with a wrestler up here in the Northwest. His name is Artemis Spencer. Probably, I would say he would be one of the best out of the Northwest here that just straight up hasn't been signed to WWE because, well, frankly, he didn't want it. Straight up, I do believe he was offered whether it be a trial or not a trial contract, a trainer contract, or like one of those Bobby Roode type contracts where you train, but you also are a character on TV. He was offered it. He just, due to age and, preferences in life, he just decided not to take it for what I've seen. So yeah, if you want to see El Phantasmo in some great matches, him and Artemis Spencer were probably some of the best I've seen in my being around. He has been here a few times with Real Canadian Wrestling. And other than that, all the Canadians that were on there had a great showing. I'm a little disappointed, and I said this before, that I love the fact Renee is not an interviewer in this. Wow. I love the fact that, they're actually saying, Renee is, Renee's a human being, not just a nameless interviewer. Now we're going to get the highlights between Ospreay and Omega. So, if you guys have watched Forbidden Door on Sunday, what did you think about the Ospreay Omega match? Like, I hear best match of the year and all the accolades that anybody could get. Billy Stark's impressive? Absolutely. I believe... Well, I'll get back to Billy Starks here in a moment because I got a weird feeling Billy might be the person to come out to take on Ruby Soho, but it very well could be match of the year. But my personal opinion, I think it might have ran about 5 minutes too long. Just a few minutes, like you could see that point where they were hitting the crescendo, and then North American fans aren't used to, having, after you've done the dirty deed, which, spoilers, if anybody hasn't watched the match yet, Dog Callis came back out after getting ejected and he passed off Ospreay screwdriver, which Ospreay used in the eye. It was definitely, to me, it took like another 2 Storm Zeros and hidden blades all over the place to finish it off. I get it. You're trying to create Kenny Omega as a monster, but it's probably going to take a lot more than that to get that character into North America. It was the best match on the card. Don't get me wrong. I'm not crapping on the match whatsoever. It probably will be match of the year around here. But to me, I think it was one of those 6 stars when it could have been 8 if they would have cut it off a couple minutes sooner. That's my opinion on it. I think it could have been a lot better if they would have shortened it up just a little bit. There was a part in there that just lost me. But yeah, as for Billie Starkz, for as young as she is, she wasn't allowed to sign because she was too young. And now that she's signed to AEW, I love it. I can't disagree with the finish, but I agree with you that the crescendo was there and Kenny had the upper hand, so that made Ospreay's finisher feel like a letdown. Yeah, like if Kenny had lost a screwdriver moment, it would have suffered, but I like how it went a little longer after that. I could see that too. I could see that they needed the I think they needed the screwdriver spot. Don't get me wrong. But I think after one Storm Zero would have been enough. And I don't care either way about Blood, but at one point Blood was distracted. Yeah, like taking over for the feeling of the match. I get that too. Like I said, I don't think the screwdriver moment should have been lost. But I think the middle chunk, like when I say there should be 5 minutes taken out, I don't mean the 5 minutes at the end. I mean the 5 minutes in the middle. There was a big low point where it really didn't look like anybody was really doing anything to finish anything. By the way, if you didn't see this whole setup of this 6-man tag on Twitter today, it was absolutely hilarious. Because it reminds me exactly how I got picked for sports in school. Like I'm probably Vikingo there. With the fact I'm just sitting there minding my own business, somebody turn out, hey, you want to play? All right. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the future is for Billie Starkz in the ring. I want to see how Omega and Ospreay top this in Wembley. To me, this is the big one. Orange can't even take his glasses off yet. Well, I guess he usually doesn't take his glasses off. What am I talking about? I do like the fact that they're keeping Garcia relevant for as long as they are right now. And I love the fact that Keith Lee is getting in the ring. And Lee's like, no, you can start this, Vikingo. It's all good. Vikingo and Garcia, the match that I think everybody needs to see. After that 4-way match ended at Forbidden Door, there was a second there where I thought we were going to get OC versus Shibata versus winner takes all matches title match. That's where I think Garcia got done dirty there a little bit. Because as you're watching it, even as soon as I saw the graphic, you're looking how they're advertising the 3 championships. The ROH Pure Championship, the IWGP Television Championship, and the International Championship. And then you got Garcia. Man, it's fun watching Vikingo go at it in the ring. Just flipping and dipping and popping and flopping. All right, once again, thank you to Alti Subs for helping out the channel overall as they are a sponsor of Privileged David Crowder, PJC. When I talked about YouTube streaming, he's going to be doing a lot more of that too, so I think he's going to actually be moving over his Twitch streaming over to YouTube in general. Keith Lee doesn't have gray anymore? So Orange got a free comb. I guess he dyed his hair. He didn't want to look so old and didn't want to look so old in Canada. You know, we're all so youthful here. Youthful, vibrant. Free comb like picture day at school. Oh, don't lose that comb, damn it. Ange looked there like he lost his kid or something. He ran after that so much. Using the ring apron to clean it off. Oh my. I love the fact that Vikingo just he didn't give two craps. He just, as soon as he saw what was going on, yeah, I'm going up to the top. Let's go. And I assume there was a tag there. And a little drive-by action. That's actually the best way to do it with these guys. Double team Vikingo, because I think that's the only person on this team who's going to be able to take heat in this match. Because Orange, well, being the champion, you don't want to see him get beat down too much. And Keith Lee, well, he basically could eat two of the members on the other team without even losing a sweat. And it's so underrated how good Matt and Ange are as a team. One of the best teams to come out of Quebec in a very long time. I know we're getting a bit of a showcase of local talent over on ROH tomorrow, like for the tapings tomorrow. If you guys are here late, guys and girls are here late, they're doing the tapings for Collision tomorrow night versus on Saturday. Because unlike Americans on the 4th of July, we like to get out of buildings on Canada Day, so. He called off the dance? Ooh, this Hamilton crowd's not going to be happy with that, all 15 of them. I'd really like to see what the final attendance is, or was here in Hamilton here for this Dynamite, because I know the Dynamite's been getting a little bit more. Wait, what about us liking the tradition of going to a wrestling show? It's more like in Zodiac. It's not necessarily the thoughts about being inside. It's more about the thoughts of wrestling being ingrained into the mind of fans to be there on Independence Day. Like, there's a great many people that will go to shows like on Thanksgiving, on Boxing Day. It used to be a tradition that people would go to wrestling shows. Up here in Canada, we definitely do not have that. Even more so compared to Americans, mainly because of the weather. We only get 4 or 5 months tops of this. Stargate Thanksgiving. Oh, I don't think anyone would be there Independence. Oh, fair enough. So in other words, that just doubles up what I'm thinking here. That's why they're doing the tapings for Collision coming up tomorrow in Hamilton versus doing them on Saturday. We got drunk and blow our heads up. Fair enough. Or maybe this is more appropriate. But the Canadian holiday is actually on Saturday, while the American one is on Tuesday. So I think it'll be a little bit. This is the week where everything gets a little bit weird when it comes to programming all over the place here. So, but even so, like all the tapings that are coming up here in Canada, I think The only ones that are getting a decent amount of traffic in terms of customers is the Edmonton one. I still say it's because Edmonton fans know good wrestling and they go to it. They know how to support more than any other city in the general. I will take an argument that Vancouver is on par, if not more. But other than that, Saskabush is okay. The city rhyming with fun, you can tell what the ticket sales are for Collision there. And Hamilton is just on a hangover. And like I mentioned before, ticket prices for these shows aren't cheap. And the way the economy is, because I'll be straight up, I got a $40 ticket, but mine's like one of those quarter seats in the high. Like they didn't open up the upper bowl, but in the lower bowl, like the top row of the bowl itself, in the corner where you get the least view. But I'm hearing tickets are like $200-$300 a pop to get in. And just, I could see why there's a little bit of trouble getting ticket sales up here. As much as the novelty of having an AEW show is up here, and how much much of us diehards love wrestling, when you have the other product coming in another month, it's only going to be maybe, almost. Like, wait, I believe in Calgary, they're having a WWE show up there a calendar month after AEW Collision's there. So, and like I said, the prices are like half. Why does Edge have a death wish? Jesus! I loved watching the big man fly. Toronto is August 18th. SmackDown. I think Calgary's the 11th, actually. Garcia just stalling. Hamilton is also 50% cracked out a lot of university students. I just knew. Well, here's the other thing. Like, there's been reports that Blood and Guts are going to be on, it's going to be July 19th. That's the first Dynamite back in the States following Collision in Calgary. Jesus! Garcia, why are you being an idiot? This has got to be the match that's putting Keith Lee over big time. Those chops, I swear. But yeah, you'll notice that, Tony Khan actually did a very smart move. In a way, getting away from the U.S. on Independence Day and that actually made a lot of sense. And getting people... Oh, Jesus. That was... I believe we call that a botch. Ha! That would be a botch. A botch that they're turning out to make something go better. What I think was supposed to happen is Lee was supposed to catch him on the senton going over. And they just said, fuck it, we're going back to start up that spot again. Pardon my French there. Why did you go for a pin like that? But let's say you'll see quite a bit in... you'll see a bunch of that in the luchador stuff. You'll see a botch here or there. They'll just forget about it. They'll just keep going. There's your orange punch. I love the fact that the pace of the match just automatically changes the second that Lee comes in. Menard, what are you doing? That actually worked. All right, this is over. No. No, he's not. He's not fading. You can keep elbowing all you want. It ain't going to help. Done. Wow. I hope this puts Keith Lee, gives him a little bit more of a, boost. I love how Excalibur states the obvious. Sometimes the chemistry just wasn't there, guys. No kidding. I hasten to say, in many cases, a lot of luchador matches don't have chemistry, but that's just me into the style of wrestling there, but... Give me Keith Lee versus Luchasaurus. Absolutely. Orange Cassidy doing the leap up there. That's always great. So we're probably going to hear from Jungle Boy at the top of the second hour. Big meaty men slapping flying man meat. Now Vikingo just looks perfect with those shades on. Ooh. We're finally getting this. Thank freaking God they're going with this finally. All right. I can live with this. Okay, so now we're getting into a package with Danielson and Okada. I'm looking forward to this 6-man tag, definitely. Hopefully we can get a little bit more on this story here. Maybe Hangman and Uno eventually with a singles. What if we got a Dark Order heel turn and Jack Perry joined the Dark Order? That very well, you know what? That very well could happen here. that very well could happen on both ends. Like, you could literally have this match end with Jack Perry coming out to help out the Dark Order to beat Adam Page. But knowing Tony Khan, he doesn't think that deep. All right. Well, oh, sorry. BK commercial. Don't want to give them any free advertising here, but yeah, Dark Order deserve a better storyline than what's been going on here with with them over the last few months. Like, granted, I could say that about a lot of teams, but I do think a lot of these storylines are going to start flushing out now. Like, I know we had Collision just start up just over a week and a half ago. Well, we're on the third episode is going to get taped tomorrow. Now that we got the pay-per-view out of the way, now that we got a little bit more stretched out conversation here, I think we're going to see a lot more people on television that we haven't seen before. For the mere fact that we have the 2 full TV shows and we can build storylines to pay-per-views through this. So if you really think Perry's a cornerstone of your company, then you have him lead the Dark Order with a feud with Hangman. Hangman is legit and would bring Perry up a ton of credit. Absolutely. The only reason I don't think that they're going to go this way is Jungle Boy's motivation. Sorry about the towel, guys, but currently it's about 26. We're mid-90s here in States numbers. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Yeah, it's 26 here right now, Celsius, so feels like 29. Got up to 40 there. Yeah, so, and the thing is, I don't have any AC here in my apartment, so yeah, I'm dealing with a towel. That you guys are nice enough to allow me that decency here today. So, but getting back to Jack Perry and where we're going with this, the only reason I don't think we're going to get anything like that is the simple building regulations not allowed to have an AC unit. Anyway, that's their story for another day. When it comes to Perry, his motivation was to get titles, and he can't get a title because he lost the IWGP titles. He was straight up. He didn't get a chance to win. Hook didn't help him at all, even though he thought he should have got some help. And now he's going to go after the FTW title, which he said he was going to go after gold. He never said it was going to be recognized gold. So that's the only reason why I don't think that the Dark Order is going to be involved with Jack Perry yet. There might be a way we do it in the future here. And I would love to see Jack Perry go up against Hangman Page. Oh, great.
Thanks, guys. Here with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevarra. Gentlemen, tonight you're the main event in a tag team matchup against Sting and Darby Allin. But Chris, tonight you're tapping in to the Painmaker.
For the first time ever, just a few days ago, Forbidden Door, Sting and Chris Jericho were in the ring together once again for the very first time.
Yep. I got a weird feeling that we're gonna get Jericho and Sting at Wembley. I just have that, that bad feeling you get in your stomach that's not indigestion. That's what I got in my gut right now thinking about this. So they get the Painmaker. Okay, I get it. Jericho's got a 3 million and one gimmicks. Are you done now? Renee's just tried not to laugh about every time she pulls the mic away from Jericho. He's just like, it. Oh my God, they got -1 out there too. Please go. Okay, yeah, thanks. Put him in the back. Because I don't want him out there in this match here just because. It's so funny. We're talking about characters and Temple of Doom was the best. We got Mega Man Legacy. All right, that's a nice video game one. Surprised there's not more Fight Forever sides up there that people would make up for today. They'd probably get more money out of it. But one of the best stories when it comes to heels, when it comes to bad guys, when it comes to villains, when it comes to comic books, is you can actually have a story that you can believe behind them. And right now, the Dark Order have one. And I've heard this story many times. And I think a lot of us can relate to it when you have somebody that you've trusted and you've worked with for so long. And then all of a sudden the shiny new car comes up and they think they can get ahead a little bit more and they move over to that one. Well, that's what the Dark Order's feeling right now. I have no sentiment towards that, of course. None, right? I'm just going to warp a one of that one. Nah. But anyway. But this... You could see in Evil Uno just the passion that they had here. We'll never financially recover from this on the name banner. I thought that would be on Danielson's one. Yeah, did you guys hear that how much they had to pay for the final countdown by Europe? Even though the song was sold to another entity that didn't mind putting it out there. The band Europe and their label, they just didn't want that song out there, so they priced it so high that Tony Khan wouldn't pay it. Then apparently they sold the rights to the song to another label, and Tony was able to purchase it off them. It was expensive as hell, and I do love how Tony played it up, saying, "Yeah, it costs as much as a wrestler's salary. Some wrestlers get paid $15." So when people talk about costs and all that, unless I see a financial document, I don't believe any of it. Sort of like that comment on top of the name bar. We'll never financially recover from this. One thing I will say, this is from my experience. We just had Evil Uno up here, I'd say about 2 months ago, for a show with Top Talent Wrestling here in Edmonton. This man here could make you feel all the emotions in a 20-minute match. You would go from hating him to loving him to get angry with him to almost crying with him in the matter of 20 minutes when it comes to a match. So Dang. Shot to the chest there. Like, it's amazing that, you know, we could you imagine, and this is sort of what I'm thinking right now might make the most sense as we go along here. If we're getting into blood and guts, and now Danielson isn't available, could you imagine the Dark Order joining up with the BCC in some fashion? Because then that's another set of enemies that that the Elite's made, right? So you move Kenny onto Takeshita or whatnot. Dark Order BCC, I don't think would clash. Well, I don't think it's a clash. I think it's a joined up. They both have the same enemy, and it's the story of all the enemies that they have, right? So I get it. It might not be the best idea, and I don't even know if they'll go with it. It might just be a secondary storyline here right now as they try to cool down a little bit and sort of let the BCC versus Elite storyline sort of level itself off a little bit. Because I got a feeling we are going to get that match to level out or that whole feud just to, you know, simmer, stir, keep it in the back of minds here. I really appreciate how much Johnny Hungy is as a underrated wrestler here. John Silver. Silver only wants Hangman. That's funny. We're probably going to get things to break down here soon enough, but everybody's just taking a shot on Hangman. And I love how Evil Uno's making me look like a real badass here. Like, this is back to old school pre-Brody Lee Dark Order. Uh-oh. And that's what Evil Uno is. Like I said, Evil Uno is turning into that pre-Brody Lee badass that he was. Wonder if Luigi Primo is a playable character in Fight Forever? No, he isn't. I would think he costs too much, to be honest. Although you do have the creation suite to make him up. I don't even know why I call it a creation suite. It's a create a wrestler. So I have seen like a lot of the details. I've watched a lot of the videos because I'm trying to learn. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I never got a chance to play the Fab Four of video games. I haven't got a chance to play either of the WCW games or those THQ Raw games. So this is going to be a new experience for me. But from everything I've seen, it's a very... Let's put it this way. If it didn't have the AEW tag slapped on it, it would be a very indie game. Basically, it would look like an indie game. And we'll see that tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to be doing Owen Hart Road to the Elite tomorrow. I heard there's a possibility it takes up to 4 hours to complete. If we don't get it all done tomorrow, I should have all the time to do it tomorrow. But if we don't, we will probably attack it on Saturday. So the character models have been a bit of a celebrity death match. I honestly think they don't look that bad. From a lot of the pre-renders that came out early and a lot of the comments that came out because of them, yes, those looked horrible. Now that I've seen the revised visions of everything, they do look a lot better to me. Do I think they're WWE 2K23 quality? No. Are they supposed to be? No. And I think when people start to realize that this is a standalone game. It's not supposed to be a comparison to any of these simulation games. It is an arcade game. Always has been, always will be. So sorry, just seeing a couple notes there that came out. I'll be able to give you a little bit more of a full review tomorrow after we're done the first go around. I am looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. But I'm not expecting something that's going to blow me away in terms of quality here. The only saving grace for me right now is the fact that from what I've seen for new releases coming up, I haven't seen anything coming up for a month that I'm really looking to get into. I don't know when the official release of FIFA FC is coming out, or EAFC, I believe is what it's called now. The new FIFA, whatever it is. Because that's going to be one of the two, and then WrestleQuest will be the next big purchase I think I'll be making for games coming up here. So there usually is a bit of a lull here when it comes to games in the summer, mainly because, sunshine and, outdoors, and let's give Nintendo their props because they can go outside and, people can take their Switches outside and actually be in the sun. Touch a little grass, as the kids say. Oh, he actually did the Brody Lee comment. Nice. You better get that reversed. I love that. You gotta love it when Evil Uno's getting the pop for the hot tag. Hangman does not want to get involved in this fight. That's funny. Thank you, Rick, for all your help there. Hangman just coming in and shoving him up. Hey, I'm not losing. But I'm still not fighting you. Wow. There's a slap. Come on, Hangman. There's the tag. Now it's legal. They can fight. Throw him out. He's over the top. Now Silver's going to take care of him. Oh, wow. The Dark Order are actually working well as a team here. I'd love to see Hangman lose this, all three of them. Here's the combination. Stunner, German, rollover, cover. Damn, I missed that. That poetry in motion with the Dark Order, I hope it's in the game. I really do. I wonder if they got tag team finishers in it. Because that looks so super smooth. Probably a lot smoother than the game's going to be. I'll admit that. Yeah, I don't see... I don't see the Dark Order winning this. They should, in many respects, they should. You went to go for the buckshot. Reversal! 1, 2. Oh, oh, Silver, atta boy. Oh no. Damn. BT, trigger, into the clothesline. These guys are going to be heels again. Please let there be more to this story. Please let there be more to this story. There needs to be more to this story. Silver's head was a foot away from the mat. Yeah, of course it was. Terrible booking of Dark Order win here. What are they doing? Ah! This is what you do. And the Dark Order just said, boom, goodbye. Now, I don't know. Hey, I do know a little bit about booking once in a while, especially when it's simple booking. Oh, and here comes Eddie. Eddie's getting beaten up. Paige is bleeding. And the Dark Order just said, nah, we're good. Somebody give me a mic. Moxley's like, yeah, don't worry about him. He's done. This is where we're going to announce the Blood and Guts match right now. But the funny part is they're running out of friends for Hangman and the Bucks, right? Because who knows how long Omega's going to be gone for. They're going to at least play it up that he's injured. The match beyond? There it is. There it is. Boston gets to host Blood and Guts for the second time. If you guys don't remember, the Boston Garden held the first Blood and Guts match. Wasn't convinced about Takeshita as a heel at first, but I've started to change my mind after seeing the way he slowly stalks around the ring. You know what Takeshita needs to be and what Takeshita's turning into? Takeshita is becoming... You know when you watch a Japanese film and you watch that one ninja just watching everything happen? You're just looking back and forth, looking all over the place, and you just know that something cool's about to happen with this guy. That is what Takeshita's turning into, and that's the kind of character he needs to be here. So I wonder if they go 4-on-4 for Blood and Guts. It's a TD Garden, so it's kind of like Canada. With all due respect, Yager, it's bad enough people call Toronto in Canada. It is really bad enough that we call it... Oh, what are we getting here? Oh, they're previewing the 3 men's matches for the Owen Hart Cup coming up on Saturday. I would so love to see Dustin Rhodes win it. I would love to see Dustin Rhodes win that cup. Because he's one of the guys that was actually still around when Owen Hart was wrestling. At least one that was in the tournament, right? I think he was actually in the match before Owen Hart's passing, if I do remember so myself. That fateful day in Kansas City. Let him win and then retire? Absolutely. Like, just judging by the Western Canadian audience, I think Dustin would get a pretty decent pop out here. And I think that would be a name that people would get around to come watch. Even if he doesn't win it, you get him a good match in the final. I think everybody totally behind Dusty in the, or sorry, not Dusty, Dustin. And if Dustin wins and then he just says, yeah, I'm good now. Because I would think this tournament would mean a lot more to him than it would to a lot of people in it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the husband and wife finish for the first year. Not that I think they did it. Did they do anything with it after? I don't think so. Like, I like the fact that they're going across Canada with the entire draw and trying to get all those matches in that way. But at the same time, I'd almost like to turn it into a pay-per-view. Like a one night, you know how Impact Wrestling has those in-between pay-per-views that, cost $10 versus the normal 40? Something like that, like a network special kind of thing. I know they got Battle of the Belts, but doing something like this, an Owen Hart tournament where they can have 7 matches and 14 matches is right there. There's your pay-per-view. Because you got to have 7 matches for the draw, right? If you're doing the draw the way you are doing here. Yeah, Dustin would be a hell of a winner on that. On the women's side, for who's left, I'd love to see Ruby win it, but I just have this weird feeling that it's going to be Athena. Athena or Sky Blue. Those are the 2 that I'm picking here, because on the other half of the draw, you have 2 champions right now in Willow Nightingale and Athena, who have advanced to the semifinals. You got Sky Blue, who advanced. And now you got Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker to determine the other semifinalist. And this is why I'm glad they have an extra buffer show to get all these matches in. Because of the injury / illness to Britt Baker, you can wait till next Wednesday to do the next women's match. And then you do this one semifinal on Saturday, one on Wednesday, and then the final the following Saturday. Yeah, Athena to me just makes a lot of sense for the winner. Oh. Have Athena win and come back to AEW to face Statlander? See. I love the fact he's definitely not watching the show back. Watch Britt come out and say, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Okay, so we're getting the junk. Yeah, Ruby's going to get like a 2-minute match against, some local competitor, I believe. Which like I said, there's a lot. I could almost see Casey Spinelli being the one that's there because I think she works. Oh no, that's the Pepsi Center. I think she works security. But they literally could pull anybody out for it. So. But yeah, I can't see the women's match getting more than 5 minutes or so here, tops. Yep, music change, gimmick change. Jackson Perry Esquire. Hey, they're saving AEW some money. Could you imagine in the WWE 2K GM mode, you could actually have entrance music as part of your salary? Surprised he hasn't cut his hair yet. He might. Here's the funny part about that statement about a car to the airport. When he was in wrestling here in Alberta for Hart Legacy, which is not related to the Hearts, by the way, they actually withheld his ticket to get back to the States before he would wrestle another show. That was one of the stories behind it. And yeah, so that just seems rather ironic for people that know what happened up here. If you didn't know, he did train a little bit up here with a few of the Hearts, worked with Hart Legacy Wrestling, which wasn't related to the Hearts, but someone's saying I'm saying boo earns. That sounds about right for here. We're Simpsons fans. I want to see Taz. I want to see Taz's reaction right now. Yeah. I love what the crowd's saying right now. Surprised they haven't muted it. Uh-huh. They're, I like the Jungle Prick background. That's always appreciated. Ah. I want Taz to say that he agrees with the crowd. I want. Yeah. In other words, right now. I haven't seen this kind of determination at a Hook in a very, well, ever. He's running as fast as Christian does. No wonder they work well together. Exactly. Okay, so now they're announcing Grand Slam. Are they doing it before? See, JB's Creepy Jungle Boy, attaboy. That security guard's like, nope. Sorry, you'll clean up your mess. This is the most amount of emotion I've seen at a Hook since he's come into AEW. So, are we just straight up not having... Oh, we're doing the picture-picture cue card game again. All right, let's see what we got. He's going to do his picture-in-picture gimmick. You may have to fight a battle. More than once to win a war. Okay, they're talking about tonight. Sting, Darby. Come on, we can read. We're not that slow in reading. Oh, I guess, everybody's over the moon with the word Sting and Darby. Once again, we'll do battle. Okay. But tonight we're winning this war. Fair enough. This is going to be ultra generic. I thought we were going to get positive Guevarra out of this. Darby Allin, my eternal adversary. Almost feels like 2K, where the rivalry will never end. We're destined to fight. Come on. Fight forever. Fight forever. There we go. Video game pun. And have the last card saying available tomorrow on all consoles. Tonight in the main event and tomorrow in the video game. It's not let the fight begin. Giving the signs to kids in the crowd. I'll give them that. It's let the fight continue. Continue. Click, click on the controller. So yeah, we're probably going to get a 5-minute spot here with the women's match here, and then they'll go right into the main event. Which, if you think about it now, the more time that they do this, and the more time they give to the women's match, it goes back to sort of the story we were talking about at the beginning of the show here, with Sting not having particularly good matches. You keep them short, the less he can screw up. Guy's pissed he can't get his sign back. I wonder who they're going to bring out here. I'd love to. There's a few people I'd love to see here for this match, but they had to bring in somebody on short notice. So could they do another? Could they do Billy Starks again? Since she was in Toronto, I don't know if they keep her around. Or could they bring the bunny back as she is from Hamilton? Like, she's from that Toronto area. That actually, to me, wouldn't be half bad of a choice, except for the fact she's a heel. Next week in Edmonton. Woo! Taz saying he loves coming to Edmonton. He is a man of very eclectic taste. Ah! Alexia Nicole, I have a hell of a fun story with her. The first LPW show in town, they couldn't get the audio working, and she was supposed to be a guest commentator. They flew her in from Montreal for a commentary spot because, like I said, she's getting over an injury, and they couldn't even get the audio to work. They called me up too late. I couldn't get things miracled out because they were trying to use a laptop to record audio, video. They were trying to use a MacBook with one input, instead of trying to get the actual equipment to do the real job. Kudos to the production staff now doing a great job there, but that first show was rough. Yeah, this is basically a 5-minute throwaway. I just like the fact that, they got somebody local to work this. And somebody that deserves it. Because Alexia Nicole, if you haven't seen a lot of her work, she does work a lot of the Toronto Indies there. As well as a lot of stuff in Quebec as well. And yeah, we'll probably get about another 3-4 minutes of this. Then the spray paint. The referee's rubber. Oh, she's going to put the lockjaw on. There's a mock. And she took it off like a regular glove, like up by the fingers. Ew! Tell your dog I said hi. Give us a Ruby Soho title run. I like that. Well, at least they put it on the black so it won't stick out that long. That's not Nicole Matthews. Sorry about the yelling in the outside here. We're not filthy disgusting. Huh, okay. All right, guys, let me get the door here because these kids are a little loud. Okay. All right. I love the fact that Ruby's feeling a little more comfortable in her own skin now. I'm doing great, Crowder. Hope you're doing well. Just finishing listening to this Ruby Soho promo, and my God, I love the fact that she's getting to be herself a lot more. And it just feels like she feels so much more natural as a heel. Jungle Boy, I didn't believe as much in the segment before. Oh, they're showing the gay segment again from last week. I love the fact that how this crowd's so progressive. And I love how this world's more progressive now. But now we get the ultimate reveal if you didn't see it. I love how Johnny whatever just he looked at it like, what the hell was that? Yep, he is now officially called Johnny TV. Claudia and Commander, I like that. Statlander and Lady Frost, that's going to be a hell of a fun match. Roddy and Samoa Joe, that'll be amazing. Dustin and Powerhouse, I hope Dustin wins, but I don't think so. Ricky and Juice, I'll wait till the other one to figure out who's going to win that. And MJF shows up in Hamilton. Yeah, Spears gets a match against the guy from Buffalo, right? Lee and Strickland have to work together again? That's what we're getting. All right. So next week we get Swerve in Our Glory versus Orange and Darby. All right, I can live with that. That's a decent match we get. But yeah, Johnny TV, they didn't want to call him Johnny TNT or Johnny TBS because I think there's probably a copyright on the TNT one just because it's TNT, right? And TBS refers more to the TBS Championship, which is currently held by Chris Statlander, which Ty Valkyrie, I'm sure, wants a piece of right now. But Johnny TV, just keep it generic, keep it happy. He'll probably change his name again 4 more times. And Sean Spears gets a match against Buffalo native, but did most of his work in that Toronto area in the Blade. So that'll be a hell of a match here. And yeah, Crowder, we're just it's been an interesting Dynamite. I'm not going to say it was been over the moon tonight. And this is something we brought up for many weeks here for the after the pay-per-view. The first Dynamite after the pay-per-views are usually a little bit more laid out, a little bit more, what's the best way to put it? It's almost like they take the foot off the gas for a week just for everybody to breathe a little bit. We did get a little bit more with the Dark Order story against Hangman Page with Young Bucks and, or the Hung Bucks, sorry, I'm calling them that, taking on the Dark Order in a 6-man tag. We got the announcement of Blood and Guts coming up the first day they get back into the States on July 19th in Boston. And then, Keith Lee got put over big time in the 6-man tag match, which hopefully that gets him a little bit of a push here, which might get derailed a little bit here next week with the Blind Eliminator Tag Tournament match, because they're finally going to get through there. Yes, we got Jungle Prick too, which I still say he needs to be Jackson Perry Esquire or Matthew Perry Jr. That would piss a lot of people off too if he used that. And we did get to see what size of track shoes he wears, because God, did he run fast. I think Christian Cage would love to be known to be able to run that quick. I will say on a positive, for as long as everything's been going tonight, and we also had Jon Moxley and Tomohiro Ishiii nearly kill each other in the ring, which that's a Moxley match. So, yeah, overall, the best part about this is the fact that we're getting a tornado tag of a guy that we really don't want to see in the ring a lot, and Sting. But the fact that by the time they get out here, it's going to be 10 minutes to hour. And you notice, just like Jericho, they have to have this stipulation like this in any of his good matches. That way he can hide a lot in the match. Because if I find a tornado tag, he can have his other partners come in and just sort of save his ass a little bit more. And Tony Schiavone having an orgasm. So as we missed it right before the main event, just want to give you a quick rundown as we're getting the introduction of Sting here. Which I still can't believe he can't take his coat off when he comes into the building. This is definitely one way to be a retirement tour, but an update on the streaming schedule coming up here. Tomorrow afternoon, as long as I get it downloaded, everything goes well. AEW Fight Forever, Road to the Elite with Owen Hart is what we're scheduling to do. Probably 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock Mountain Time, so either 3 or 4 o'clock Eastern, depending, like I said, depending on how things go. And then we'll probably run Saturday night at this point. Saturday night, I'm keeping a little bit open right now. We might, we'll probably do a little bit more AEW. Because I don't know whether we're going to finish the road to Elite. It's going to be about 4 hours in total. We'll see if we get through it. If not, we'll see maybe finish it up after Collision's done on Saturday. And then Monday, we're back to Fight Night. Might be doing Melty Blood as our fighting game. Melty Blood type Lumina, I'm thinking. Because now we still have to get through our Evo showcase prior to Evo coming up at the end of July, beginning of August. So I do need to get in those games at least one night, get some videos up for you guys. Well, this is a site. I wonder if he realizes that nobody really worries about these other gimmicks with Jericho. So you can revamp your gimmick and just create yourself a new record? My God, I'd be doing that every time I took a loss. Maybe we could do that in Fight Forever. But as another side note for those that are coming in late, there will be no AEW Dynamite Sidecast next Wednesday, as I will actually be in attendance at AEW Dynamite here in Edmonton. So, no, there are a bunch of great AEW Sidecasts available. We will return in 2 weeks, and hell, I might live stream. Unfortunately, my iPhone 11 isn't good enough for that. I might pop in on something live before we get going, but I don't know if I'll swing for Winnipeg, Sting. So Sting and Sammy are just going to fight on the outside, little brawling, just so we can see what's going on in the ring. I was going to use my bat, but I guess I'll use yours. Now we're starting with a sword fight. That's great. I might try to get on a little bit, whether it be Instagram Live or... I'll let you guys know if I get in there, and we'll maybe chat and see what's going on. Normally when I'm in an event like that, I just like to get in there and just enjoy the event. As much as I love hanging out with you guys, sometimes people forget to get caught up in the moment a little bit. Why would you turn your back on Jericho as you're beating him up and he's still standing there? Sting running for his next spot. Like I said, it is a lot better here, the fact that they're only giving him 10 more minutes. Because I'll say this match was a bit of a hiccup at Forbidden Door, the 6-man, with Naito and Suzuki. They had their great spots, but Jericho's been 0 for 2 in pay-per-views in 2023. Well, I guess I forget what he was in at Revolution. I keep forgetting that was still this year. But yeah, when it comes to Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door, I consider both of his matches a strikeout. And I love Adam Cole. Like, Adam Cole's one of my favorites. But I'm sorry, but those two matches are crap. This match at Forbidden Door and then that one-on-one with Cole to open up Double or Nothing. I think he was supposed to land past that, but thank God he sold it for, I think he might legit be hurt there on that one because, well, I think that was supposed to be a spot because everything was all cleared out there. I think that was supposed to be there. The question is Jericho asking for this much screen time or is Tony? I'm thinking, I was going to say immediately I'm thinking Tony, but I'm thinking, because if you haven't heard, Chris Jericho is helping out with the booking. Like, there's a few people that are listed as helping out with the booking, but Jericho is one of them. And in many ways, I can agree with what Jericho might be saying about this. With, is there anybody right now that you could consistently put on the main event that would get you the ratings that deserve a main event spot? My personal answer, yes, there is. And it's the match that we were talking about earlier tonight, being the main event in Ruby and Britt. I think you need to give the women more of a chance. I think there's a good quality roster here that you can actually put in that spot. Cole and Lee could do it, absolutely. There's a lot of wrestlers that a lot of us feel that could main event without an issue, and we've seen many instances that they could. But you still have a little bit of that old guard that says, these guys can't main event because such and such or such and such. And they think that people are going to get over with these kind of matches here, like this crazy one, right? There we go. Jericho's 0-3. He lost to Ricky Starks to start off that stupid feud. Which is a double what the F. With the fact that I'm saying he lost, and he lost to start a feud with Ricky Starks. So yeah, that to me, that's just absolutely, it buffoons me right now. Just to, like, Jericho's going to have to find some way to make himself, like, I get it. There's certain people in this company that are absolutely bulletproof. One of them's Jericho. Another one's Danielson. Like, you could give them loss after loss after loss and nobody would really care because they're that entertaining in there. Hell, even in a way, I feel Moxley could be that way too. Now that they've gone through the process and made Moxley champion, I think he'd be another bulletproof guy. Now, Sammy should stay down for this if he wants to make sense here. I love how the one lady's just laughing on the side to all this. And don't get me wrong, Jericho can go, especially for his age, but he's slowed down a lot over the past. Like, don't get me wrong, he's an attraction. But so was The Undertaker in his last 5 years. And as much as we thought he would go, look what happened to him at WrestleMania 30 when Lesnar got his hands on him. That leg's broken. I couldn't stand watching Taker the last couple of years. Exactly. Like, that's exact example I have for you. Like, there is no way in hell that there's no way in hell that these guys should be main eventing anything right now. The hell is Sting doing? That guy's reaction is perfect. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He didn't make it. Yeah, no, that was set for way too far for Sting. Gloves are coming out. Sammy's cut. Oh, Sting might have lost about 4 teeth there. But yeah, this is going to be Darby and Jericho now for the rest of the match. Skateboard Jones! I sure as hell hope it's... They got 3 minutes, so... But yeah, I do feel that these two have to be the finish now. Just keep those two out of there. Even Aubrey's like, oh, damn. Into the ladder. There you go. Samson's letting Jericho... Oh, my God. Samson's letting Sting get up. I wouldn't let him. I don't know. Sammy could get right up after a table spot. Works for some. Like, it makes me also wonder how much padding is Sting wearing underneath that jacket or underneath that shirt. Because I don't get me wrong, wrestlers are tougher than hell, and I will never be... Sorry about hitting the mic there, chat. Sting is an absolute insane individual, but at the same time, oh God, that was beautiful. All right, here we go. Judas Effect. And Darby flies up. That's what happens when you're like 40 pounds. We got a minute. And now Sting's in the ring. At least Sting looked better than Sabu. That's not a very high label here. Oh my God. We gonna get this, or are we gonna get Darby to come in and break this up? Especially when you're 63. He literally could break your back. Okay, there's... Oh, we're playing back to this? Okay, that makes sense. Well, Floyd got found a new home. Yeah, I would say we're in overtime. It's 8 o'clock already. I'd love to see them cut off air after this. Oh. Code breaker. Pin. Okay. Are we just going to cut away here? So is the death drop going to be the invincible move? No. I think we're learning about who goes over all the time. And literally, I don't mean winning. I'm talking about time. Now we got the Jericho gonna tap? Oh my God. Jericho tapped out? Jericho actually tapped out. And they're literally fading to black right now. I literally don't think that they're going to be able to get Sting to get up at this point. That looks like a lot of blood coming out of Sting's mouth. I got a feeling he missed a few teeth on that punch out to the outside. Nice to see Jericho and Sting go at it, but finish with Darby and Sammy. I got a feeling this is not the end of this. I got a feeling we're going to run with it again another time. I think this was just, like I said, these shows after the pay-per-view are just matches that they feel are going to be entertaining, but it's not going to mean a whole lot. But we actually got some decent story development with the Dark Order and the whole BCC Elite issue going on. Hangman versus the Dark Order, like I was mentioned there. The fact that Keith Lee is getting victory after victory here, and now he has to team with his former partner and mortal enemy, Swerve Strickland, to take on Darby and Orange Cassidy in the Eliminator Tag Tournament. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's weird booking. I can see why the women's match, that was just, we need to have a women's match on the show, so we're going to have one. Next week's going to be a lot better with Baker and Soho. That'll be a decent story, if not the usual story. I think I'm looking down the line instead of having post pay-per-view mind. Yeah, like, I think they take a week to breathe. That's usually the way it works. They take a show to breathe, because in many instances, they are in the same town or a similar town to what they had the pay-per-view at. And it just gives everybody a second to breathe and regroup and try to figure what's going on. But yes, absolutely weird booking tonight. That 6-person tag, like I said, I think that was just to put Keith Lee over and get him ready for the Strange Bedfellows match he's got coming next week with Swerve Strickland. Orange Cassidy, he's the most popular guy on the show, so they want to put him somewhere like that. We're getting Johnny TV on Friday taking on, Johnny TV and QT Marshall taking on the Hardys apparently, or something to that fact. They were rambling on. I couldn't figure out for the last part, but all in all, like I said, it was a good show. I'm not going to say it was a knockdown, drag out, absolutely fantastic show, but we're going to have to see what comes up next week, and we're going to have to see what comes up the week after here. So, what was that?